What up, guys? Hope everything's going well. Man, that Super Bowl, I thought it'd be more entertaining than it was. Although Patrick Mahomes is crazy, man. The throws that he's making, even though they lost last night, the fact that he was, off balance, making throws hitting his receivers in the helmet, that's just ridiculous. Side arming, this guy, has a potential of winning a few Super Bowls, a few more Super Bowls. I think, though, if he continues to get hammered, he's going to be in a lot of he's going to have a short career. But, Brady, I don't know what to say about Brady. He's 43 and he's still kicking ass, man. It's just ridiculous. And, if you invested in Brady cards like 2 years ago, man, you'd be making a killing. But, yeah, I did want to get into football cards to invest in during the offseason. And a lot of focus on these channels right now is looking at Marvel cards. And, yeah, I watch Marvel movies. My wife's a huge Marvel fan. But at the same time, this is not my forte, and I'm not completely sure of the population size of the cards that everyone from the 90s collected. So that's why I'm taking a pass. I may have bought some cards maybe 5-6 months ago, but still, I was uneasy because I did not know the market. I did know about it because I get the magazines from PSA. Because I was I think a silver member, or I don't know, bronze member, one of those three. But anyways, what cards am I looking to invest in during this off season? Well, let's look at I think one of my cards or packs that will probably hopefully appreciate. And this is the Chrome pack from 2000. And as of right now, there I think are 30 PSA 10s. There will be more in the future as they get graded, obviously, but that's still a low population size. And Tom Brady is the GOAT of GOATs in our lifetime. I mean, there was Babe Ruth back in the day. If Brady wins one more, I would say that he is definitely the GOAT of the GOATs. Some people may say, hey, it's Bill Russell. He won 11 championships. You have to remember, in the NBA at that time, there were, 10 teams? So you're comparing apples to oranges, not taking anything away from Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics and Red Auerbach, however you pronounce his last name, the coach of the Celtics back then. But, yeah, what am I going to look at? I'm going to be looking at these hobby packs if I could find them on the cheap. Right now, if you go on eBay, it's $750 a pack, which is insane. I'm not going to open them. I'm just hoping to grade them. And, those in the next decade or two are just going to appreciate like crazy, in my opinion, especially the PSA 10s, 9s, and 8s. You have to remember the PSA 8s were trading about $200 earlier this year, and then after the Super Bowl last night, it was like 600 some bucks. PSA 9 you could have gotten for 300 some bucks. I think one pack sold yesterday for about $900 to $1,000. PSA 10 earlier this year, I bought two, one at like 820 and then one at maybe 600 something. Those definitely have gone up in value. I just don't know the exact value. There's one PSA 10 right now on eBay for $2,500, which I think is a bit too expensive. But, I'm going to be looking for that. The time may have sailed for that. I bought 10 packs for about $250 each, so about $2,500 earlier, or in the fall of last year. I thought that was a risky bet, but I knew it was Brady, so, I'm still nervous, but, I should have potentially bought more because those probably will go higher. But what else besides Brady am I looking for during the offseason? I'm looking for specifically quarterbacks that are young, that haven't gotten exposure yet, that potentially will be stars, that will rival Patrick Mahomes. Um, and I'll give you an example of this one card that I bought already, but I will be on the lookout for this guy. His name is Jordan Love. You guys may have heard him. He's on the Green Bay roster. And, the talk was last year, why did the Green Bay Packers draft Jordan Love when they could have drafted a receiver to help out Aaron Rodgers? That's probably a slap in the face to Aaron Rodgers. Because what they did to Brett Favre, they may be doing to Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. You have to remember Green Bay is a very conservative organization. So they're planning not for next year, but maybe 3 years down the road. And this Jordan Love guy, I saw some video of him on YouTube. I was quite impressed. He is what I would look for in a quarterback. He's mobile. He can throw the ball. He's, I think, 6'4", 6'5", so that's good. The shorter the quarterback, the worse off it is because it's sometimes hard to see over your linemen and whatnot. That's why, when the Bears had Rex Grossman way back when, he was great for the first 6 weeks of 2007, but, eventually defenses caught on. He was too short. And if you want to look at, other short quarterbacks, there have been some success stories. Drew Brees, he's short for a quarterback, like 6 foot, 6 feet, 0 inches. He's still taller than me. I'm just saying for a QB, it's hard to be successful as a short guy. If you look at Brady, Manning, they're, I think, 6'4", 6'5". But yeah, Jordan Love, he has the mobility that, Aaron Rodgers does not. Remember the playoffs game? Jordan Love would have ran for the end zone. He may have not gotten the end zone, but he would have been really close. And, Aaron Rodgers decided to throw it as an incomplete pass. And then, the rest is history. They kicked for field goal instead. One of the worst play calling that I've seen in a while. But also about Jordan Love that a lot of people are not talking about, and what I view very important for a quarterback, is their Wonderlic score. And the higher the score means the higher IQ you have. And my thesis for a football quarterback to be successful, they need to have a high Wonderlic score. Just because you have a high Wonderlic score doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a successful quarterback. But in order to be a successful quarterback, in my opinion, especially during the playoffs and the Super Bowl, you need to have a high Wonderlic score to prevail in an era of complicated offense. You need to be able to read the defense. You need to make adjustments. You need to have good second and third reads on the defenses. And also, you need to understand the chess game behind football. And if you look at all these quarterbacks in the league, like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and, before there's Peyton Manning, there's Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, all these guys, they have higher Wonderlic scores than the average. The average QB has a Wonderlic score of about 24, I believe. Don't quote me on this. Not the highest, but, offensive line need to have the highest because they need to read the defenses. They need to, in order to be a good blocker, you need to also understand, where these guys are coming from, what the defense is going to do. So, yeah, there's also Mahomes. Mahomes, is above average intelligence, with the Wonderlic score of 24. So he's not a dumb guy. And I see that Jordan Love had a Wonderlic score of 27. So that's great in my opinion. Brady had in the high 20s, same with Peyton, from what I remember. So he's got the intelligence. Now, for Jordan Love, whenever he gets into the NFL, will he be able to prevail? Will he be able to interpret second and third reads on the defense? And if he does, he's going to be successful. The tape on him so far that I've seen is pretty good. He has high intelligence, and I believe the Packers know what they're doing, despite a lot of criticism they've had recently, and especially for drafting this guy. So yeah, some other quarterbacks that I'm looking at, some rookie cards. The card that I showed you of Jordan Love, by the way, is a National Treasures card. It's an autographed. Let me show you here. And quarterbacks tend to be the highest price cards out there, so that's another thing. And speaking of Wonderlic score, this is one of the reasons why I do not want to invest in Lamar Jackson cards, because he has a low Wonderlic score, and the probability of him winning the Super Bowl, in my opinion, is low, unless he gets the defense to bail him out, or unless he defies all odds and is able to, make adjustments to the defenses out there who've already made adjustments to him. So that's another thing. Another quarterback that I'm looking at, not many people have heard of. His name is, I think it's Jake Fromm. This is his National Treasures auto from last year. He was drafted in the 5th round. He probably would have been drafted in the 1st round of this upcoming draft, but he decided to forego his senior year at Georgia. You have to remember that guy, Justin Fields was behind Jake Fromm, and we know that Justin Fields performed or was participating in these bowl games this year. Ohio State had a decent record, but obviously didn't, win the national championship. So, long story short, I'm looking at guys like Jake Fromm because he has a high Wonderlic score. He's on the Buffalo Bills team. He was the COVID quarterback. He was a number 3 quarterback, so he couldn't really practice with a lot of guys. And I believe he does have a lot of potential. Some pros about him: he has a Wonderlic score over 30, so he definitely is a smart guy. Some cons I have about him: he has what is it called? He is the number 3 quarterback, and it will be kind of hard for him, to move up the scale when you have a guy like Josh Allen as the number 1 quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. So he may be, way behind the depth chart, and he has a young guy ahead of him. Unlike Jordan Love is in a situation where Aaron Rodgers, career, it could end in a few years. So, Jordan Love's going to get an opportunity hopefully soon. But, yeah, I'm going to be definitely looking at some of these quarterbacks, especially coming in the draft, and trying to get their cards, Quarterbacks are high on my list. And also any Brady cards that are very cheap compared to what they are right now. And, Brady cards will continue to appreciate. But, if you look at some of these Brady cards from a few years ago, I was telling you about the 236 PSA 8s that I bought. It's like $225, and now they're selling for what, $2,500? Some auctions sold at $3,000. So it's getting kind of pricey there. So if I could find anything on the cheap, I'll buy a Brady. Gronkowski. He has multiple championships. He was ignored this year. His cards were going like crazy yesterday. I wish I bought some more right before, all this craziness happened. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be looking at some of these younger quarterbacks. I'm going to be avoiding most of these other positions besides quarterback. I may look at some tight end guys like Gronkowski, even some Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes cards plummeted from last night, and this next month will be probably a good opportunity to start hunting for some quarterback cards and other undervalued football cards. So you guys let me know, what is your strategy in terms of football card investing? And I know that a lot of people are now focusing on Marvel. They're going to be focusing on the upcoming baseball season. But this is a time where it's going to be dead quiet in football, and it's going to be nice. You know. Also, another thing, you may also want to look at quarterbacks that are going to be on different teams next year. For instance, Trubisky, I bought a National Treasures rookie patch auto from 2017. I think he's going to be on a different team. He could be on the Steelers next year. And I think his card values are going to go higher when he goes to a different team. That doesn't mean he's going to do well, but it just means, there's an investment speculative trade that you could be involved with. And I think I will flip one of those National Treasures rookies once he signs with the other team. Who knows? Some of these cards you get for $30, you could flip for like 120 right away if he goes to another team. But we shall see. Let me know what's your strategy for this year, and I'll talk to you later. All right, guys. Bye.